With me now, founder of ReaganBabe.com, Megan Barth. Megan, this is stunning. I mean, when he made this announcement, I was like jaw dropped because, you know, it's something that we didn't expect. You always hear in the media, oh, everyone's jumping ship from Republicans and, you know, Donald Trump scaring everyone away and Republicans are going to go Democrat. And it turns out that Justin is going to be the 34th Republican governor. And this is like an all-time high for the Republican Party. So, I mean, what's your reaction to this?
Well, my reaction is one that is, very happy for Justice to have found a home, for Governor Justice to have actually found a home. And he is one of hundreds of thousands of Democrats that have defected from the Democrat Party. If we look at the Rust Belt, just right around West Virginia, the working men and women of this country, the Democrat Party left them. And so they left the Democrat Party and voted for Donald Trump. Without Democrat voters in the Rust Belt, we might not have the Electoral College. It was Democrats, not the Russians, who gave Donald Trump the presidency.
So we know that Democrats were doing soul searching after the election. And you have to wonder what they're thinking today with this latest announcement. Maybe it's not that big of a deal for, let's say Nancy Pelosi. But I think this stuff all kind of matters. Now, of course, this news is kind of just going away out of the news cycle because they don't want to spend a lot of time on it. Now, if it were the other way around, this would be wall-to-wall news coverage for 2 weeks straight or maybe even a month. So, a lot of people say that Nancy Pelosi is a cancer for the Democrat Party. And we know that the fundraising isn't looking as good as it used to be. I mean, she was the champion of fundraising. So what do you think Pelosi is thinking this week? We haven't heard from her, but what do you think she's thinking?
Well, I try not to get into Pelosi's head. I never try to figure out crazy. I just let it go on its own. The more Pelosi talks, the more money the Republicans raise. If you look at the bottom line and really want to see where the energy is, you look at the money. You follow the money. The Democrats are $3 million in the hole. The GOP is fundraising to astronomical numbers. Millions of dollars are pouring into the GOP. Why? Because, like I said, many Democrats defected from the Republican Party. Many are finding a home in the Republican Party. Many are aligning themselves with the ideals of the Make America Great Again agenda. And success is paying off. We have a 2.6% GDP that we haven't seen in 8 years. We have the lowest unemployment rate in 16 years. We have consumer confidence and small businesses index are up to historic numbers. The stock market, 22,000. So obviously the Trump administration and the agendas and the repeal of regulations are working on behalf of working men and women. And thereby our tent within the GOP is going to grow as success attracts more and more people to the GOP.
And what do you think that the Democrats actually need to do to be more relevant, stay relevant? Because, again, their messaging is completely lost. People don't care about who's using what bathrooms. They care about, how they're going to pay their bills at the end of the month. A lot of these Democrats are so out of touch. Most of the members of Congress, including Republicans, but the Democrats, they're so filthy rich and they just don't understand or maybe even remember that the struggles they used to have because they're just almost living in another planet.
Well, they're relying on their echo chambers of elite liberals in New York and Chicago and Los Angeles to craft a message whereby they're completely ignoring the middle of the country. They refer to it as flyover country. It wasn't the Russians that kept Hillary out of Wisconsin. It was her campaign team. They gambled wrong. I'm not going to give the Democrats any tips on how to win an election. But I will say this, you have to be for something instead of against everything. And this resistance message and aligning yourselves with Linda Sarsour or cop haters of the Women's March that tweet out happy birthday messages to Assata Shakur is not mainstream. That is fringe. That is extremist. And so to align yourself with extremist radicals like Linda Sarsour and others is not going to win mainstream or the hearts and minds of mainstream America.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. It seems like the Democrat Party, they are not only are they not condemning some of these, these Democrat Party leaders like Linda Sarsour when they say some pretty horrific stuff and the things that they embrace, like Linda Sarsour, for example, she embraces Sharia law. And nobody seems to have a problem with that. And it's just really hypocritical because Democrats say, oh, you know what, we care about gay rights. Well, Sharia law doesn't actually protect gays.
Nor does it protect women. And so as Linda Sarsour is some new feminist icon of the Women's March is really just a bald-faced hypocrisy. I had the opportunity the other week to interview Michael Blake, who is the vice chairman of the DNC. And I asked him point blank to denounce Linda Sarsour and to denounce the Women's March for tweeting out a happy birthday celebratory tweet to a cop killer. And he refused. He refused to do so. And this is the second in line, the vice chair of the DNC. So that tells you exactly where the DNC stands. They stand with extremists. They don't stand with middle America.
It's telling, and that's a great story, and one that, again, that we see over and over again, that the Democrats not condemning, some of the people on their side that, again, that shouldn't be seen as leaders of the Democrat Party. And they're constantly hammering Republicans over, basically fake news stuff and accusing people of being alt-right, alt-right light. And it's just amazing, the hypocrisy. Thank you so much for your insight.